This is the Wheel of Time Spoilers podcast.
I was going to say, speaking of money, Matt is gambling.
All right, we've got 10 minutes of preamble. Let's start the episode proper. This is our first recording back in 2026.
First recording back after break, yeah. Welcome back. And we're starting off with a bang.
Yes, we are. We are starting off with an action scene to get your 2026 stuff right. I hope that y'all enjoyed the taste of the Podcast at Donut podcast that came across your feed to absorb some of the holiday break. People in live haven't heard it yet because I haven't released it yet, but don't tell them that.
But since this is all on delay.
I hope y'all enjoyed that, and I hope you'll be joining us over on the Podcast at Donut feed. That's where those episodes will be in the future.
We're having a lot of fun with those.
We are having a lot of fun with those. But for now, we get one of the more exciting, I'm glad Sanderson wrote it kind of scenes. We've been waiting for this for a long time. There's a whole article written about how to kill a gholam that does include this solution. We are at Matt Kills the Gholam. That's what's happening.
All right, I have to read some of the 50 Ways to Kill a Golem article, right? Because this came out, I want to say originally in like 2000. No, this is updated in 2010. I don't know when this originally came out.
I feel like I remember reading it before this scene was written. I feel like I do recall at one of my very brief forays into what exists of the Wheel of Time out there. Like I didn't engage with the fandom, but I did occasionally poke the internet to see what happened. I read articles on 13th Depository now and then, and I'm pretty sure I remember reading this before the Golem got killed because I remember having
certainly.
that feeling of like, wow, that's a lot of different options. Like, I wonder if this is like, surely they're going to kill it one of these days. I feel like so it has to be from before a long time ago.
So, basically the first thing they say is like, it's the medallion, right? And there's a little bit of an argument about, is it the silver or is it the fact that it negates flows? And it's clearly, it's that it negates flows. So they're like, maybe use the medallion.
Matt's strategy at the end of the thing of like, I was just going to stuff it down the thing's throat and see if that works.
Right.
Like, so that's try number one.
Number one.
Okay.
That's try number one. Yeah, and then there's just a big thing about arguing about maybe it's the silver, and if it is silver, maybe you can bury it in silver, and it's not silver.
Right, this isn't actually a vampire.
No. Number two, knock it into a gateway, right? Like, that is the second, once you get past the medallion is what you do it. Presumably, you could kill it, like, Shadow Spawn don't survive gateways, so the assumption was if you pushed it through a gateway, it would die instantly.
Sure.
And that's where a golem is a little bit different, right? Because a golem is closer to an ogier.
Right, they're a construct, not inherently an evil, twisted thing that only the Dark One could have created.
So in a lot of ways, they seem more pure in terms of the one power, right? They're not like corrupted souls forced into a body the way the Shadow Spawn are.
Right, they're neutral alignment that happen to be deployed for evil in this case, but it's not intrinsic to their nature like a Trolloc.
And then, but they dismissed that because they said, we just assume a gateway would unravel the second a golem touched it.
Which also doesn't happen.
So there's a couple of assumptions that Matt makes that work for him. One, that pushing it through the gateway won't kill it, which doesn't, because he has a backup plan. But also the fact that, the gateway is going to work. Even the golem can pass through it because it's not touching the mechanics of the gateway.
So I wonder then if he did put his hand on the side of the gateway, if it would cut his hand off or if he would poof it out of existence.
Right. Because then, what could you cut him in half with a gateway? Probably not, right?
Right. And if the gateway vanished, then that would have left Sumeko stranded and falling forever.
Right.
On the other side. That would have sucked. But no one ever tries touching the side of a gateway.
No, unless you pass through it. I imagine it's just razor sharp, right? Like you just cut yourself on it. Yeah.
Well, and for normal people, but I just wonder how the golem would interact with it. Would it just evaporate like a bubble at his touch?
So, more bright ideas. Indirect effects, basically squishing it with an anvil.
Maybe.
The T-1000 effect. Drop it in a volcano. See if that, if it can melt.
Probably. I think it'd be hard for him to reconstitute himself if he was stuck in a lava lake.
One of these days, I'm going to cut you into little pieces, basically dismantling it into enough small pieces that, because here he cuts the fingers off. He's like, that'll probably slow him down. But the speculation is that he would flow back together, kind of like, again, T-1000, right? The liquid metal. Like, it might slow him down, but he probably isn't going to, those pieces can probably rejoin with him. But we're not sure about that.
That's why I think the squishing won't work either. It's like, I feel like, because he's not a an animal construct of bones and sinews and muscles
Right.
and fluids. He's just a solid material through and through that can morph to look like a human. So,
Even though kicking him in the balls works. So
well, he still has a diaphragm structure. I
don't
don't
think so.
know.
yeah. Blowing him up with gunpowder.
Yeah, no, I don't think dysarticulation is the answer. Mm-hmm. Maybe if you take like 1,000 pieces to 1,000 different locations, hundreds of miles apart, maybe.
Starving it to death. Basically capturing it in something it can't escape from and letting it slowly starve to death over time. In some ways, that's probably what's going to kill it, right? Like as it falls.
If it can die of starvation, that will ultimately be what kills it.
Which I think it can. They need to eat, right? They need to eat to survive.
He does say a bird must fly, a fish must swim, I must feed. That does imply that it's not about pleasure, it's about sustenance. Or I must kill, whatever.
And then there's a whole thing about gateways, right? Mm-hmm. Open a gateway to some, if it can pass through a gateway, right? Assuming it can pass through a gateway, here's some things. Just get rid of it. Open a gateway to somewhere really far away.
Okay.
And just kick it through.
Right. Drop it in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. And it can't get back. Open the gateway to the skimming place. Shove the golem through and close the gateway.
Boom.
Boom. Done. Exactly what happened. Far from the matting crowd. Open a gateway to far matting and send the golem through. And assuming it's in a location where it negates all magic, would that not fuck him up?
Okay, I am intrigued by that one. I am intrigued how the Guardians would handle the golem. That is a very interesting question.
And also how the Guardians would handle a gateway opening into far matting.
You could open the gateway over Farmatting and drop him down through
Perhaps.
the
yeah.
airspace bubble. Huh. Yeah, how would it... I bet you couldn't open a gateway there. I bet it would be like trying to open one to Viridian or something.
See, I think you can, because you can use a well. So as long as you have access to power, you can do whatever you want. All it does is block your access to the one power. And if you're doing something like Rand could balefire it from outside, why couldn't you open a gateway from outside if that's your destination?
How does but then you're magically transiting into the space, so is that gonna like matter antimatter? Like,
But again, it doesn't stop magic. It just stops people from embracing it.
right. Which then would that even affect the golem, since the golem is not a person embracing magic? The golem is magic.
Right. It's not negating isn't it magic? Like, because you can, it's not negating magic at all.
It's not male or female magic. It's just pure power.
Right.
So it might do nothing.
Yeah. I think it would do nothing.
But the formatting people deserve some chaos. So, I don't know. They don't really. Their leaders suck. That's it.
And then here, I like this solution. Open a gateway to the middle of a volcano. Problem, how would you keep the lava from coming out of the gateway? Which I think is a fun foreshadowing for Andral in the last battle.
One miracle,
So
as
it's
ordered.
Exactly. So not necessarily a golem solution, but definitely something that gets used in real time.
Yeah. But then, the solution is to just open the gateway horizontally over the lava lake and let gravity do the work.
And then there's just like variations on opening a gateway to somewhere far, space, under the ocean, in a lava, another planet, on the moon, right? Yeah,
all of the problems with the pressure management, but still, one assumes that the golem cannot survive the vacuum of space for very long.
Now, I'm not sure that was 50 ways to kill a golem, but that is what the title of the article is titled. But that's the sort of the list of ideas.
I'm surprised that the ways were not included in that. I feel like hucking him off the side of the pathways in the ways would work too, because it's basically the skimming space.
There's just so many ways to kill things in Wheel of Time.
I'm just saying it's the same space basically. You could go into the ways. You don't have to have a gateway, but it would involve convincing the golem to walk into the ways on its own power and then picking it up and throwing it over the side, which would be a lot harder. But I think that would work too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm trying to think of other power wrought things we've seen. Throw them in a pool of pure sardine.
I wonder if you could make a blade, one of the Murdraw blades with a golem. I wonder if it's got enough sentience soul qualities that you could do the thing where they have to kill someone in order to make the blade all work. I've been re-listening to Lord of Chaos and re-listened to that scene, obviously. So
the way it sucks them in.
Yeah, I wonder if running a golem through with a Murdraw sword as part of the construction process would actually do it damage in a way that a normal sword, even a power route sword, would not. Or if it would just, laugh at that like every other thing you can stick through their body.
Yeah, I don't know how sold they are, right? They seem sold
Right.
enough. Like, again, I can sort of compare them to Ogier, right?
Or to Nim.
Or not Ogier, Green. I keep saying Ogier, Green Men.
Yeah, the Nim.
The Nim.
So Meshta
Yeah.
and others. Yeah. Who are bigger yet than the Ogier, if I'm recalling correctly. Yeah, in the Eye of the World, he's like a freaking actual tree compared to Loyal. Yeah, that's definitely pretty comprehensive. I wonder if being in the middle of a magic explosion, like what Elaine did with the gateway, would cause harm to a golem. Being in the middle of an uncontrolled backlash like that.
Yeah, because that feels like an effect, right? That doesn't feel like magic. That feels like an effect of the magic. And so, but again,
Like if you mishandled a Tarank Rial and it blew up or something.
all right, let me just pull up the named for a fan of really quick.
But yeah, we know that there is one way of killing a golem that does work, and it is on that list. It is what Matt does, and it is what the chapter we are doing today entirely revolves around.
Spoilers, yeah.
Have you seen the name of this podcast?
Does your podcast have spoilers for the entire series? Yes. All right. So we've got 3 fan names here at the beginning. 3 characters based on fans. We've got Riddle is based on Michael Riddle, a fan of the Wheel of Time. We've got Sadler is named for Michael Sadler, a fan of the Wheel of Time. And Snell, who's named for Michael Snell, a fan of the Wheel of Time. I see what you did there, Brandon. You took 3 Michaels and you put them together in one scene using just their last names.
Wow. He's just like, these are the Michaels.
These are the Michaels who donated. These are the Michaels. And like,
Can never trust a Michael.
never try.
This is also the chapter in which we have Innkeeper Hatch of the Dusty Wheel.
Yes, I was going
who
to bring
is
that up when we got there. Yeah.
very much a real person who we have hung out with and has a YouTube show and all of that jazz.
And is currently, as far as I'm aware, employed by Brandon Sanderson. He works for Dragonsteel now.
Oh, I hadn't heard that. Good for him. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, he's officially, like, I don't know, outreach or something like that. I don't know the.
Wow. The way that the spirals just keep on spiraling, that's an amazing community twist.
Well, and Matt Hatch, you know, he was head of Theoryland for a long time. He was there. He was consulted when these books were being made, you know, as part of writing these books, right? He was a beta reader when they were coming out. He was giving feedback. Like, he has been, you know, sort of the #1 fan of Wheel of Time for quite some time. And then creating the Dusty Wheel and that whole YouTube phenomenon that has taken off. And, you know, and Wakan is a big part. You know, I know it's a lot of Nabliss, say his real name. I'll try not to. And yeah, and Matt Hatch, right? The 2 of them. But a lot of that is Matt Hatch and his ability to organize and entertain. So
Yeah, no, he is a true entertainer, MC, innkeeper. Like, the vibe is so true. That just makes me so happy and fuzzy to know that that's just continuing to. The obsession with Wheel of Time is continuing to pay dividends for people in our community. That's very cool. And yeah, this is the Dusty Wheel. I'm like, hey, I know that guy.
yeah, aka the Rumor Wheel. And I was like, hey, that's a little. I didn't realize you were renaming it the Rumor Wheel.
I know, right? And that's the little opening song for the channel, is something if you want rumors and appeal. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. So, you know, there's a lot of mutual winking and nodding happening here.
You know. But I mean, how much was Theoryland the original? Like, I mean, back when the internet was first going on and fandoms were first coming up and there weren't, you know, TV shows didn't quite have the, shall we say, plot that was worth speculating about, right? They were all very simple and episodic, right? Like, what we speculated about on the internet was books. Wheel of Time was one of the first books that was speculated about at length, you know, and like now internet speculation and fandom is this huge thing. And like Matt Hatch and the Dusty Wheel and Theoryland were right there at the beginning of it.
Yeah, I remember stumbling across Theoryland the second that I poked my head up looking for fandom at all. And I'd never really engaged much, but it was like, okay, so there's Theoryland and 13th Depository and maybe something else somewhere. Like, it's, yeah, so OG.
And I read the Wheel of Time FAQ, but the Wheel of Time FAQ was 100% distilled Theoryland. That's what they published when they got done having all the forum discussions. They published they wrote it up and put it on the FAQ.
Wattfack and Encyclopedia Watt.
Encyclopedia Watt I didn't discover until later, but I've used that extensively during the recording of this podcast. That's one of my favorite sites now, because it's very much like, this is what happened in each chapter. These are the characters who were there. No, X, Y, and Z happened. No judgment, no speculation, and incredible accuracy. Right. That's the other thing, is like the Wikipedia, not as accurate as Encyclopedia Watt.
Yeah. Which is appropriate for a thing that calls itself Wiki.
Right.
But yeah, that's our fandom is full of a bunch of nerds, and like the older we get and the more serious skill sets we have and the more experience we have, just the more our collected body of knowledge gets refined and turned into this massive construct of nerddom. Just massive.
The other character we have in this opening is Catty. I didn't have any references to her. See if that was see her named after anybody. But also only appears to be the only time she appears.
Well, I guess she's just a person.
Just a person. I guess I should read us in.
This is way too much of an action chapter to not do a read-in. Yeah.
I know, right.
We've been going off for a while, but we'll do a read-in anyway.
Yeah. There's probably going to be a fair amount of reading in this chapter, just because, like, action scenes, right? That's what happened. And one thing to say about this chapter, I blame anime.
And I'm not mad about it.
I'm not mad about
it. But yes, agree. Strong agree. Very, very anime.
Chapter 31, Into the Void. Our symbol are the dice, because it's a Matt chapter. And the void is where the gholam goes. Matt dumped the rest of the wine into his mouth, savoring the sweet, cool taste. He brought the cup down and tossed a handful of dice. They tumbled to the wooden floor of the tavern, clacking against one another. Wait, you're throwing dice on the floor? Not on a table? It's a lot of bending over.
Yeah. Okay.
The air was thick with sounds, thick with curses, thick with scents. Smoke, pungent liquors, a steak that had been peppered so much that you could hardly taste the meat. That was probably for the best. Even in Camelin, meat spoiled unpredictably. The pungent men around Matt watched his dice fall. One of the men stank of garlic, another of sweat, a third of a tannery. Their hair was stringy, their fingers were grimy, but their coin was good. The game was called Corono's Spit and hailed from Shinar. Matt did not know the rules. 5 1s, said the man who stank of garlic. His name was Riddle. He seemed unsettled. That's a loss. No, it's not, Matt said softly. Never mind that he did not know the rules. He knew he'd won. He could feel his luck was with him. Good thing, too. He needed it tonight.
Just Matt matting as hard as Matt has ever matted.
Yeah. Just like, I don't need to know the rules of a game to know if I've won. That's how much his luck is just like, it tells him he's won, right? It's like, your luck's in. You're going to win that roll.
Yeah, he's like, I know a win when I have one. That's just a thing that I do. I drink and I know that I win.
Right. And there's a whole thing where he's like standing up and he's like, hey, everybody, like, anybody want to tell me the rules of this game and confirm that I won? And the guy's like, fine, you won. Yeah.
He's doing this whole, it's almost like pool sharking, but his actual target is the gholam. Like everyone is the game, but he's playing like almost like a pool shark within the game.
And isn't he winning with weighted dice that are supposed to make him lose?
No, they were playing with weighted dice that were supposed to make him lose.
Right.
Oh, right. Yeah, he was playing. Yes. He was twisting their weighted dice as one does, because that's what he does. And yeah, he does this whole thing where he like takes off his scarf and then puts the scarf on and takes off. I don't know. He's doing a lot of very elaborate costume changes in front of everyone to make sure that everyone knows that the one-eyed gambler with the cool hat and the pointy stick of doom is in town. He's just really hamming it up super hard.
That's bait. Right? Like, yeah.
It screams bait. I'm like, the way the Gholam shouldn't have taken this bait because it was so obvious. It's like I think the reason is that the Gholam underestimates all of Matt's allies. And Matt himself, because it's too much, Matt. This is not subtle. This looks like bait. This looks like you have a trap set up, in my personal opinion.
And then I love reading into this description of the Dusty Wheel.
Yeah.
The inn had walls dark from years of men smoking pipes inside it, and the windows, though of fine glass, had grown opaque with dirt and smoke. It was tradition that they never be cleaned. And I just wonder if that's like we keep archives of all like the debates and stuff like that.
You know?
Just like the constant, like, being inside the forums and just talking over and over all the smoke and soot that's on the windows that we never clean. Like,
we've gone over this territory a billion times, and we will do it a billion times more. And don't you dare shut us down from going into does the One Power stop periods or not? Like, we will cover this territory again.
The weathered sign out front had a wagon wheel painted on it. The official name was the Dusty Wheel. Everyone called it the Rumor Wheel instead. It was the best place in Camelin to listen to rumors. Most of them were untrue, but that was half the fun.
Loony theories, baby. That's loony theories right there. Like, half the shit we say makes no sense, is literally a loony theory, cannot be true, and literally that's why we
half the
gather.
fun.
That's half
Yep.
the fun, is just being like, nah, you're wrong, and this is why.
That is a paragraph dedicated to the fandom. Yeah.
I feel seen. I do feel seen.
So the next 2 pages is him proving that he won, right? Like, I don't have a lot for that.
Yeah, no, it's the peacocking I was talking about. He's just peacocking real hard for the sake of catching the golem's eye, or really catching the eye of every spy who is ultimately reporting back to the golem.
And then I'll read the next paragraph that references Matt Hatch himself. Matt left a golden crown on the edge of the bar, then tipped his hat to Hatch, the innkeeper, also named Matt.
With 2 T's, though.
Yes, the 2 T's. The man stood behind the bar wiping a glass, his wife next to him. She was a pretty one, but Hatch kept a special cudgel for thumping men who looked too long. Matt gave her only a short look then. So... yeah, I just love that reference to the real world people, and having hung out with Matt Hatch and knowing Matt Hatch and seeing all his work on the Dusty Wheel, and it's just nice to see a little tribute to him here.
Yeah, for sure.
More so than I feel like all the other names that the people who got name dropped for donating. I get that is a reward and it's fun, but to me that feels forced in a way that this doesn't. This feels natural and like an actual love letter as opposed to naming random characters you're going to kill off.
Well, I mean, as you said, Matt Hatch is a very singular figure
Yes.
in the fandom and in the community and in possibly even the wider shape of how fandoms online can look. So he deserves a little bit more of a impassioned, organic love letter insertion than just, and then name drop because there were brackets there.
So Matt leaves, and the dice stop thundering in his head because he's made basically he's inevitable confrontation with the golem at this point.
I think also it might be that the golem has decided that, because Matt worries maybe the golem's not going to take the bait. If the dice have stopped, I think that means the golem has decided he's taking the bait.
Yes. And you put yourself in a situation where he can get to you.
Right. It's yes, you have tipped yourself off the starting position of the roller coaster, and the ride is now inevitable. Even though you haven't reached the conclusion yet, it is inevitable that you will get there.
So he heads out, ties his medallion to the Ashendari, right? And I assume this is the original medallion. He doesn't specify which one's the original.
Yeah, I assume that he gives the original that pride of place around his neck, and that he's not swapping it out with, one of the replacements. Because even though he doesn't really care about the other attributes that Elaine cares about, it is still the original. There's a special bond there with your jewelry.
Also, you can't be sure the copies are going to be effective until they actually work.
Right. He's banking on it, but truly he doesn't know. So
next couple pages, he's basically wandering around. He's got his Band of the Red Hand shadowing him.
And he gets attacked 4 times by different street thugs who are we're going to do dark friend shit. We're going to get him. And it totally doesn't work. But this is all preamble to the actual henchmen of Doom, the Golem.
Do you think these are dark friends or thieves?
I think dark friends, because he was just waving his face around so aggressively. And the dark friends have been just told on high alert, kill this guy. So it makes sense that it's just a bunch of low-level thugs massively overestimating their ability to take down a literal demigod level 15. You guys are level 2. What are you even doing right now? Level 3 thugs at best.
And he's got this group of people coming out of the shadows to protect him, right? He's surrounded by...
Right. He's not even fighting, right? He doesn't want to waste his energy and potential accidents on fighting these people. They're not even killing most of them, right? They're just shooing them off. They don't even have to kill anyone until the last fight.
Yeah. Because the last time, the first few times they realize they're outclassed and run away, and the last time they fight, and they kill.
They kill 5 thugs and lose nobody except one of their own guys to an injury. Like, he doesn't even get killed. He just has to get, taken off to recuperate from getting stabbed or whatever.
And then in comes the gholam.
Oh, it's such a, I can hear the, red-tailed hawk scream and the twangy guitar, as they, square off on the street.
Yeah.
It's such a Western. It's like a Western, but you're right, it's very anime. It's just so visual.
Because you see him in the distance, highlighted, and you see his outline, and you can't see any features, but by the way he stands, you know it's him. And then he says, "You think to ambush me with your men who squish and rip and die so easily, almost at a touch.
I'm tired of being chased. I'm going to turn and fight you." It's so classic.
And this is, the confrontation was so many years in the making, with the golem coming after Tylan and haunting him for such a long time, and the foreshadowing and everything like that. It's a great battle to watch them go at each other.
I mean, Nalisian's death is in many ways one of the first long-term characters to just die. Basically everyone has had protection because of their proximity to the main character. Nalisian dying is kind of a watershed moment in
you can't protect everybody.
People close to the main characters are gonna have to die in order to keep escalating the stakes. Then Tylan gets killed and she's a monarch on top of that. Yeah, it's been a long time that this confrontation has been building, and going into it the first time I was fully prepared for Matt to die. I don't know. Maybe this is part of the twist for the last battle is we actually lose one of the 3 right before. I did not know. Because so many years of anticipating this, I just was ah!
What's the point of the golem? Is it to kill him, right? What's this confrontation, right? Yeah. So he burns him a little bit with the Ashendare. Then there's another, I can call it an anime moment. Before, Matt had thought this creature's face unremarkable. But in the uneven light with that smile, it took on a terrifying cast. More angular, reflected lantern light making his eyes glow like tiny yellow flames consumed by the darkness of its sockets. And I'm just thinking, how many times have I seen that anime where you have this very normal, generic-looking character, and then they do this thing where the light hits their face weird, they put their head down, their eyes glow, and their face turns all angular, and that's an evil dude. That's anime.
100%.
Yeah.
So basically the plan is that as soon as the confrontation starts, the band switches from patrol duty to light a bunch of lanterns and start evacuating people from houses. There's this really rapid fire communication that's happening in the background while Matt fights the golem, where they are coordinating which building he's in, where they're going to put this gateway, who's going to do it. There's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes that we just don't see.
Right, because they couldn't guarantee the golem was going to show up in any particular place. So they had to basically, once the golem shows up, they have this fire plan to try and set up a trap for him and get that ready.
Right, and they don't mean to set the building on fire, but it works out in the end, and they have a whole plan to, get civilians out of the way so that way the golem isn't scared off. Who knows how many kinswomen they have on hand to try to be able to make as many gateways as they need to, cover all the contingencies, And
I like the little bit that the only reason he really has to even confront the golem is he swore to stay in the city because of his oath to Varen. And the fact that he won't open that stupid letter, which would save Camelin.
It is really funny how much this is just hinges on that damn letter and him being so stubborn. On the other hand, the golem does have to get dealt with. There's no way to truly shake the golem. But yes, it is funny that Matt's motivation comes down to his stubbornness around the letter that he would love to follow the instructions in. If he opened that letter and Varen said, "Would you please defend Camelin?" he'd be like, "Yeah, I mean, sure."
He just handed it to Elaine, right?
Not a big deal.
Yeah, so he's fighting it. He rams the butt of his spear between the thing's legs. It went down. Its motions were fluid and it caught itself, but it did go down. And I'm like, does the golem have balls? Is that what he's still trying to imply?
I thought it was a tangle thing. I thought that it was more like a stick in the spokes kind of between the legs.
That's when he throws it. This is him literally, he just literally slams it into the, ramming the butt of his spear between the thing's legs, and it goes down. He still has the Ashendare.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. If it doesn't have balls, and it doesn't have a pelvis, and it doesn't have a solar plexus, it doesn't have guts.
Right.
What are you impacting between its legs that is particularly impactful? Maybe he like lifted it off the ground slightly. So it like literally lost momentum. Agreed, Vuji. The golem had to be killed before the last battle, because otherwise it could just be sent to Shale Ghul to kill Rand, and then the whole world is over. You cannot start the last battle unless this fucker is off the board.
Now, we do have the fact that the Dark One didn't know when Rand was coming to Shale Ghul. That was definitely helpful with the dagger that hit him.
Yes, that helped a lot. I wonder how the golem would respond to the dream spike. Can it just walk through the dream spike bubble?
I mean, there's no bubble in the real world.
Oh, yeah. I guess that bubble was only in the dream world. If it was in the dream world.
And that only negates gateways. It doesn't have anything to do with any other one power. I have the feeling the golem would be completely unaffected.
Anyway, I don't think anyone's taking the golem into Tel'aran'rhiod to test this. Okay, so yes, being hit between the legs, anachronistic to the golem's known anatomy.
Mm-hmm. No, that made me look at it and go, I feel like that shouldn't have worked, but okay, fine. Because like he can sever its tendon, its Achilles heel, and that it doesn't bother it. It doesn't have a tendon there, right? It's just
right. He cuts the fingers off. It doesn't see. He says it should slow it down, but we see no evidence that it does.
And I also fully believe that it can T1000 those fingers back into itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure that tendon is healing as fast as the blade can leave the area. You know, like it just doesn't have. Like he says he cuts its tendon, but like it doesn't have
There's
a
no
tendon
tendon
to cut. You cut the area where the tendon would be.
The golem is made up of spongy, right? Like it's just spongy flesh. There's nothing.
It is a solid blob. It could be any shape, look any way. Question, are its clothes real or just part of its body?
No, clearly part of its body, right? Because it like squeezes through cracks and shit, and it doesn't and it comes out the other side with clothes. Yeah.
Right. It doesn't leave clothes behind. Yeah. So it's literally like, Odo from DS9.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that's what this
100%.
creature is. Except evil, obviously.
And like less biological even than Odo, right? Odo is at least flesh.
Yeah, they are at least biology. But the way that they can just be whatever they want, look however they want, truly not limited to the human form. They're only that way because it serves their purposes.
Well, I'd almost disagree with that because they can turn liquid and stretchy and they have one particular face, but we've never seen a golem look like anybody else.
Oh, that's true. They do have a fixed look in a way that Odo and his kind don't.
Like they're not shape changers as far as we can tell. They're not infiltrating it by looking like, Tuon and showing up. Like he's not,
oh, that's true.
He looks like what he looks like and he can squish.
Right. He's got infinite form mutability as far as space goes, but not as far as the details. He can squish through a tiny hole, but he will look the same on the other side once he expands again. Okay, fair enough. Not a true shape changer.
Like memory metal, right? That you can like distort it and then if you heat it back up, it pops back, but it's only got the one shape it pops back into.
Mm-hmm. And yes, I'm an aside. They only ever made 6, 3 male and 3 female, quote unquote, male and female.
We assume the other 5 are dead.
Yeah.
Right. That's the other reason why it's like, yeah, it's possible to kill a golem because this is the only one left. And so the other ones probably either starved to death or were killed in the, breaking or, were lost in the bottom of an ocean. Right? Like,
yeah, one assumes that at least one was dropped into a fiery pit in the earth and sealed up in magma forever,
So the golem is basically like, okay, I don't want to fight fair. I'm going to knock out all the light so I can fight in the darkness because there's one of me and lots of them, and anything I can kill is. And Matt starts panicking, right? Because he's like, oh fuck, I don't want the lights to go out.
Right, and there's a bit of like 4D chess here, with the lanterns, and then Talmanes grabs one lantern, and it's like, oh, Talmanes is just making an impulsive decision to save a lantern. He's not. This is kind of part of the plan, like a little bit. The golem moves faster than everyone was hoping, but also like they have layers of, it's not even contingencies, but just phases of the plan that are meant to, again, there's band members relaying back what's happening. Okay, Talmanes has grabbed a lantern. He's moving down this street, so it's going to be one of these buildings, and like so on and so forth. And then the Aes Sedai are up there, or the kinswomen are up there, like, looking at a map, saying, "Okay, it's going to be this quadrant of town. Might be this building, whatever."
And here's where he throws the spear and trips the golem because the golem's going after Talmanes, and he tosses the spear. And
that's a stick in the spokes, kind of just like even the golem cannot move his legs in that much of an S curve that quickly.
Yeah, he can't.
It's just, no, like it's too fast. And then the golem says, well, what if I take away your Ashendare stupid stick with the medallion, I throw it into a burning building? And Matt goes, aha, I was waiting for you to ask that question.
Right. And that's when we get the reveal that he's got more heads.
And he's doing, I don't even what the weapon is called, but he's got chains. That the things are on the ends of chains, and he's swinging the chains to like whip
They're
them
like
out,
nunchucks.
and like,
Yeah.
but not like nunchucks, because nunchucks are like the stick with a little chain. He's got like a long chain with a ball on the end. It's like a mace, and a nunchuck had a love child. I'm sure there's a real word. A flail. That's the word. He's got flails. He's got a flail in each hand. And is very adept at it. I can't imagine how he got so adept at using this very awkward custom weapon. But he's like whipping them out and back and like wrapping them around his arms. It's very, very anime. So anime.
Yeah, and this is where, Elaine said her copies weren't perfect, but they did the job. So yeah, these are definitely the copies. The originals was on the Ashendare.
Yeah, which means it's now in a burning building. Oh, and I guess this isn't technically a flail, because a flail is like you're holding a stick, which has a chain, which has a ball. I don't know what it's called when you are just the stick yourself and it's just chain and ball. Stickless flail. What's the word for a stickless flail? I'm sure there's a word for this, because there's a word for every kind of weapon.
Oh, I mean, this is one of those things where like something on the end, a hard thing on the end of the chain has so many names and used in so many different, but I don't know, flail seems to be the one.
It's a particular kind of flail.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of like the flail icon in like Baldur's Gate. And like that's definitely a stick chain ball combo.
A chain weapon is a weapon made out of one or more heavy objects attached to a chain, sometimes with a handle.
Oh, okay, cool. There we go.
The flail was one of the more common types of chain weapons associated with medieval Europe.
Okay, it's a chain weapon. You could call it a flail, but you should probably qualify there's not a stick handle. Yeah, Vuji, Elaine totally should have made a heftier amulet. And then Matt could have had a lot more projectile momentum power behind that.
The 3-pound silver amulet.
Bam!
Yeah. Get really sharp fox head ears so that they pierce.
Yeah, make the teeth like kind of like protrude out.
Yeah.
Like give it more of like a muzzle, like in a snarl position.
And then, so the Ashendare, the butt of it is in the fire, right? And he gets this smoke effect when he's spinning it now. So he has trailing smoke on the butt of the rifle.
So
Again, anime.
So visual.
Very visual. And also, I feel like that's something that we see a lot in Stormlight Archive with because Kaladin, the main character, is a spear wielder. And there's multiple times when he has like mist trailing off the butt of his spear or smoke on the butt of his spear. Like, this is something I feel like Sanderson has used multiple times in his fights, of this idea of like kind of leaving a trail behind as you spin the spear. And as a cool visual.
I feel like it's a really good move too in like the anime space, because you can use it to help do the like time speed up and slow down thing that's so fun in action sequences. You can use the smoke as a sort of like constant, because smoke is so transient that if you do like the big slow down, then like the smoke is, frozen in space, or you can, see how fast they're moving because there's like spirals of smoke like left across the space that they no longer inhabit because they're so fast.
I mean, you don't have to actually animate every scene. You just show where the smoke was.
Right.
Yeah.
It's it works for me. It's a classic move, and it does it for me.
Then he cuts the fingers off. You know, it would be funny if he pushes the golem through and the fingers regrow the golem.
Don't detach the fingers. You have to throw the whole thing over the side. Oh my God. Okay, and Sam and Desai posted in chat a chain weapon, which is 2 balls attached by a chain. And if that's what we're talking, that is a bola.
Hey, I got 2 balls attached by a chain.
That's not pronounced bola.
Scrotum. What?
Yeah, Vuji, reproducing like a flatworm. Or maybe, yeah, what if it reproduced a new golem, but there's the golem in space is still falling, right? It regrows, so now there's 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. He grows 2 more fingers, and then the fingers grow a whole golem.
Oh, no. Ooh, like a hydra, but from the fingers.
Oh, God. Or if the golem was, like, proportionately tiny. Because he could only use the mass of the fingers, so it was like a tooth.
Oh, my God. Okay. This went from horrifying to completely absurd and amusing very quickly.
I'm thinking Evil Dead, right? With little guys.
A golem definitely reproduce asexually. That goes without saying, for sure.
I don't think golem reproduce. I think that's why there's only 6 of them.
True. That's probably a good thing. They never mentioned what happens to the fingers, though. What happens to them? Do they dissolve like goo? Do they vanish into the void? Are they just like weird, like flesh fingers? But the golem doesn't have bones, so they couldn't be fleshy So like, what are the fingers on the ground doing? I guess it's just gonna vanish. I guess we're just gonna have to headcanon that they kind of like crumble into some sort of like
They disintegrate.
dust.
Yeah, goo. I assume they kind of rot just like fingers normally would.
But it's not real flesh.
I
It's
know,
pure
I know.
magic.
I know.
Like, maybe it's like dust, like in the bubble of evil that Nynaeve and Nafe cleaned up or something.
I think we officially have one of our spin-off stories that we're going to tell. The Golem of the Fourth Age.
Wakes up, doesn't know what its purpose is, mysteriously is missing a few fingers.
He thinks he's a normal person at first.
Oh, and then like one day he gets like run over by a wagon and should have been like completely crushed in the guts and is just fine.
Does crave blood though. Gonna be hard to.
Can't eat regular food, only wants blood. That's gonna be real hard to survive childhood as. Yeah, it's okay. It's fanfic. We'll make it work. Then Matt does an excellent just screaming in the old tongue as he just completely unloads on the Gholam, right? Like he's always played it a little safe. He's always had a little self-preservation. He's stupid sometimes, but now he is both barrels going at once, just like screaming in the old tongue, you know, for an Elysian, for Tylan, for the Fallen, fuck you, motherfucker. Like he's fully going for it.
And he's trying to draw its attention because it has that moment where it seems to notice something behind it, right? And that's either the Aes Sedai or the kinswoman who's holding the power or the gateway itself, right?
I'm assuming it's the kinswoman, just her presence in proximity, but he's like, they think that an Aes Sedai is going to blast you with fireball? That's not going to work. And it's like, no. We're not doing fireball.
Well, and they did this trick, right, where she didn't cast the gateway here. She cast it at the destination. So there was no power being used in that location. Which is, the gateways are a bit of an interesting little thing like that because you can affect something far away even though you're casting the spell or, you know, weaving the weaves in a totally different location.
Yeah. So I think that he just feels her proximity and just writes her off. But like in the text, you can tell because he talks about the firelight, you know, flickering all over everything. And then one doorway is extra dark and the firelight doesn't flicker. And so that's how he knows like which door to aim for. But yeah, I agree. It is a distraction because he has to herd the Golem. Right now, the door has been picked. Right. They can't pick another building, pick another doorway. Like he has to maneuver the Golem into that doorway. Because there's no one who can give feedback on how to reposition it. Like, that's it. That's where you got to go.
And this is a skimming doorway, not a traveling doorway.
Yes. It takes it out onto a platform. And so, it backs up through the doorway, glances down at the floor, which is not the floor anymore. And that's when the 4D chess game is revealed. The call of vengeance. And then, it almost stumbles off the edge of the platform. And we have this just gloriously cinematic moment of it hanging on the edge and Matt getting to do like one tiny little hero mustache twirl and just kicks him off, just fucking boot plants in the back and just whoop.
I don't know if you can die, Matt said softly. I hope the light that you can't. He raised a boot, slammed it in the thing's back, screaming, "This is Sparta," throwing it off the platform into the darkness.
He did say that canonically. This is Camelin! And then he spits down after it, just sending a little bit of a spit, which again, I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's going to figure out how to do blood magic on the way down and like summon you into the depths of hell. Maybe you shouldn't send your DNA down there with him, but whatever.
Maybe it'll use that blood to survive somehow. Like, right. There's some,
And then he says, I hope you can't die because I'm going to enjoy the thought of you falling through that blackness forever, you misbegotten son of a ghost droppings. I'm going to enjoy the thought of you falling forever. Like, that's just a thing to remember, that for the rest of time, until the thing starves, that is happening in a nameless space that no other person will ever get to. Like, this person, creature, construct is living out that nightmare that Matt is going to be reveling in for the rest of his days.
And the only other person we know who's lived out that nightmare is a poor Aiel who fell.
And who definitely died a lot faster than the Golem will, because human fear and dehydration. I'm assuming the Golem has a lot longer to live.
I'm kind of also assuming the Aiel embraced death and killed himself with his spears long before that became an issue. Once
he got bored of being terrified of falling and realized that there was no one coming to save him, he probably was like, I'm going to need to end this on my own terms. Yeah, no. So the golem is the second person to ever suffer that fate
that we know of.
in this timeline, in this period of history.
Can a golem die? I think so. I think they can starve to death. I think they need blood to sustain themselves.
How long do you think it takes? I assume a lot longer than dehydration for a person. Longer than starvation for a human?
Tough to really know because, I mean, he seems to kill on a pretty regular basis, right? Like, but how much of that is wants to versus has to? I think they have to kill pretty frequently.
Maybe like a wolf kind of frequency, not literally daily, but pretty often.
Sort of weekly type situation.
So probably could make it for a month with no food.
Yeah. I'm thinking sort of food, like the way people would die without food, right? Like there's a certain starvation. Yeah.
About human speed for that. Not dehydration, though, I don't think. I think that probably wouldn't be relevant. It's just the sheer sustenance of blood.
Because the golem are vampires, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Right? They live forever. They're impossible to kill. They have vulnerability against silver.
Yeah, they drink blood. They heal rapidly. And they can move through yeah, I mean, vampires are represented in many of the different evil creatures.
The Drakkar also, right? Like, that's where you get the bats. Yeah.
I mean, even fades to a certain extent, right? Yeah.
No, well, and that's where our legends are never based on. Like, Thor is a bit of Rand and Perrin, right?
Right. Odin is split out across Matt and Rand in a lot of ways. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's one of the coolest endings. You know, I think that the golem and Padan Fane, I think, are sort of the two biggest, and Slayer. Those are our three sort of side character bad guys that aren't the big bad, that aren't the Forsaken, but that are significant antagonists to our
they're
main
mid-level
characters.
bosses. They're definitely not just your regular Fade and Fist of Trollocs. They're on another level. And Matt takes out two of those.
Yes.
I guess because Rand was busy taking out the actual BBEG.
Right. Yeah. I do think that Padan Fane should have had more to do with Rand.
He tried.
To
his credit, Padan Fane was going for Rand, not for Matt. Matt got in the way.
Because I do think Padan Fane should have been involved in the last battle. Like, I would have had to have Rand kill the Dark One, realize his mistake, and slam Padan Fane into that spot and make him the new Dark One.
Okay, here's your challenge. Write a 500-word fanfic of that for when we get to that part.
All right. Okay.
You got a year-ish.
My writing is terrible. Yeah.
Well, that's why I gave you a short word count. So yeah, we have a little bit of a debrief. Sumeko immediately chides Matt on his technique, and Matt says, "No, I'm not accepting that criticism. That was what worked. Get out of here." She doesn't offer healing. He doesn't ask. He wonders how Tuon feels about sexy man scars. I assume that she doesn't care one way or another because he's Prince of the Ravens and that's what counts. But it's still a cute thought on his part. Women like scars. Does Tuon like scars? It's like, silly man. And then I did have a thought. So Talmanes hands Matt back his medallions. The kin look at the medallions very, very hungrily. And he says he intends one for Oliver and the other for Tuon once he could find her. But Tuon can channel. So if she has one of the copies and she attempts to do anything Suldami or even, reach for the power herself, that's going to be a problem. He might not care about the flaws that Elaine is complaining about, but they might come into play for Tuon.
I bet you cannot use an Adom if you're wearing a copy.
I would assume so. That feels like they would be like only the original would work. So we know that Tuon doesn't do Suldam stuff very much anymore. She's busy being an empress, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm like, Matt, you're going to give her a broken toy and she's going to be so pissed because it's going to remind her about the fact that she can channel and like, Matt. We don't ever see it happen, but it's funny to imagine that going sour, like sometime in early February when she finally gets to try her Christmas present,
Same thing with Oliver. I don't think we ever see him get one.
No. But it won't give him any problems because he's, a regular mortal fighter. He doesn't have magic abilities. So the flaws wouldn't be an issue for him. But I do assume that when he does his adventuring life in the Fourth Age, that he does have a foxhead medallion that Matt did ultimately manage to get around to giving him.
Well, and it's interesting because there's plenty of opportunity for Matt to give it to him, right, before he goes off to the towers, right? He says goodbye to Oliver.
Yeah, why doesn't that ever happen again? Because the golem's out of the...
Seems like Oliver should have a medallion that whole time.
Yeah, it seems like it should have been something that's like bouncing on his chest as Bella takes him on that last desperate run, something that he's like clutching in the hopes that it'll protect him, but he knows that it doesn't work against the blades of Shadow Spawn, and that should have been there. That's a weird little detail that would have really added to Oliver. Like, oh, Oliver's leveled up to a level 2 child, you know? Like, level 3 at this point, honestly.
He at least has protection from channeling, right? Like,
that would have been a really nice... He's continuing to armor up, but I don't know. Sanderson just lost that little crumb along the way between the couch cushions, I guess.
Seems like.
Seems
like that got forgotten.
We'll just wedge a little headcanon in there for fun.
I'm going to assume Oliver's carrying one of those the whole time.
Yes, we are now headcanoning that Matt does give him one, and it is with him for all of his subsequent on-screen interactions, on-page interactions.
I just thought of something. The golem would be able to go through a gateway because Matt's gone through gateways wearing the medallion.
And the medallion didn't, like, explode or anything.
The gateway, right.
Yeah, okay.
So that logic makes sense to me.
We still need to see what would happen if he swung the medallion into the edge of a gateway. Maybe we can try that with one of the spares, like try like touching it to the edge and see which thing gets destroyed, you know?
Yeah, you go for it. I'll be over here far away on the other side of the hill.
I'll get Aludra to make me some 10-foot tongs. Exactly, Vuji, to have some Black Aja sister go after Oliver and then just get absolutely shanked by a child because he's got magic immunity. That would have been so much fun. Some low-level Dark Friend, and he just, like, manages his first kill because she assumes that a child couldn't possibly be immune to a fireball, and he's just like, it's just a weed.
And he just got a dagger and sticks in her. Yeah. And she's like, wait, what? I'm the, like, Galena or something getting taken down by Oliver.
Yes. Taking down a supremely scary Black sister, not knowing who the hell she is.
Yeah.
Just completely clueless
So
of who she
killed.
who he killed. Yeah. Much good headcanon here. And then we get a fun little interaction between Gaibon, Matt, and Talmanes that, again, is really bringing Talmanes in as a more fleshed out, humorous character that's going to be deeply involved in the Andorran plot. Because Matt says, oh, yeah, this is a... Because Gaibon asks, is the golem dead? And, you know, Matt just said, I hope you can't die, right? So he's like, well, he's not dead, but close enough for a crown contract. Gaibon says, we didn't sign a contract. Talmanes just deadpans. Like, I'm pretty sure you owe us combat pay. Just like absolutely deadpan. The kind of thing that in prior books would have been he's a stiff noble and that's all there is to him. But now, because Sanderson wants him to take on a more load-bearing portion of the plot, he's getting to be funny and sardonic and sarcastic instead of boring and flat.
Vuji, I like Alviarin instead of Galena in that situation.
Yes, because Alviarin being locked in a grove forever is annoying, and stabbed by a child who doesn't realize that she's literally the head of the Black Aja. Mwah.
Yeah.
Or not the head of the Black Aja, the whatever.
Yes, she was.
Yeah. Oh,
Galena's head of the red. Galena's head of the red.
And Alviarin's head of the black.
It's head of the black, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I've made that mistake many times, and you've corrected me, so now it's nice to come back.
Thank you for returning the favor.
Yeah, return the favor.
Between the two of us, we know most of what's happening. And then the audience is there to keep us extra on track.
Between the 1,000 of us, we kind of know what's going on.
Yes, precisely. It takes 1,000 people to keep up with Robert Jordan.
Yes. Yeah, and then just a little bit of the end. He talks about stuffing the medallions down the golem's throat as a solution, which, yeah, that'd be fun.
That would have been a lot longer and more drawn out of a way to kill it, I think.
Yeah, I feel like you have to somehow confine the golem to do a lot of things, and that's really hard to do because of his stretchy ability. So you can't, like, tie him down.
Right.
And force him to, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a really fun chapter, fun action sequences. That was just a good time. I've been looking forward to this chapter for a while.
Same. I will do a readout. Worked out fine, Matt said, inspecting the butt of his Ashendare. The damage was minor. They had not known where or if the golem would attack him, but Gaibon had done his job well, getting everyone out of the nearby buildings, then picking a hallway that the kinswoman would make the gateway into. He'd sent a member of the band to tell Talmanes where to go. Well, Elaine and Brigida's idea with the gateway had worked out, even if it hadn't been the way they'd planned. It was still better than one Matt had been able to come up with. His only idea had been to try and stuff one of those medallions down the golem's throat. Let's collect Seattle and Oliver from their inn, Matt said, and go back to camp. Excitement's over for now. About bloody time.
Yeah, it is about bloody time we get that antagonist off of your docket, dude.
Quick question. What was Elaine's and Brigida's, what way did they think it was going to work out?
I was just wondering that. Maybe they figured that it would die on passage through the gateway. And he was like, I don't know about that, but the skimming platform sounds deadly enough as a backup. We can work with it.
Totally.
Because I had never really thought about that, but it had to just be that. Because typical Aes Sedai, they think the one power is the solution to everything, you know. And Matt is a Two Rivers boy, and he knows that sometimes you just got to hit someone really hard. And that's actually the solution. That was great. That was not too short of a chapter. It's pretty short because it's an action chapter, but I feel like we reveled in that.
We did.
We really just wallowed in how awesome that was.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. See you next week.
See you next week.
All right, recording is started, and I need the world to know that there are, in fact, 3 kinds of spicy. I've recently discovered a 3rd kind of spicy. There is regular chili spicy. There is your mustard horseradish kind of spicy.
Like black pepper would fall in that category too, I think, right?
Yeah, exactly, as opposed to a chili pepper. Yeah. And then there is Szechuan pepper, which is numbing spicy. It's a 3rd kind of spicy, and my husband and I have discovered this in recent months, and it has been a bit of a culinary revelation, and it's really, really good. It goes really good in soup. You were eating soup, and put a good couple of tablespoons of that into a soup. It's so good. Or just put it on noodles.
So I don't understand numbing. Like you have to explain to me what you mean by numbing spicy.
It's like a cold sensation, almost. It's a tingly, almost, but not like mint cold. It's not like a minty cold. Which I hate mint, but I know what minty cold is like. And it's not like that. It's like a tingle. It's a much more of a vibration, and it's almost cold. That's totally hitting different nerve endings, sensors than when you get the like burning hot sensation. It's a different kind of thing, but it still tingles. It still tingles and vibrates.
Would you suggest Saldaean ice peppers?
Maybe, because it's a really intensely different kind of experience. And like I've said it on recording before, I'm sure half of my tongue is numb from a dental mishap. When they took my wisdom teeth out, my tongue just never fully recovered because they hit my nerve with the needle.
Oh, I forgot about that. That sucks.
It's very weird. So a half of my tongue, or closer to a 3rd of my tongue, is just sort of tingling all the time with numbness. And so eating this sauce, suddenly there was little dots of that same sensation across my tongue on the other side. And I was like, what? It really is numbing. It's making my whole tongue numb. And if you eat it at a lower concentration, it's more of just like a fun, interesting flavor tingle. It's less of a true numbing. But if you eat like just the straight like sauce, like just smeared on some noodles or on some bread or whatever, it's a really wild sensation. Yeah, really highly recommend it.
Closest thing I had to that is I cut off the tip of my pointer finger on my left hand.
Yeah.
Or more the pad, I should say, than the tip, right? Like I sliced across instead of through. But that pad is pretty much numb. Like it grew back, but it does not have the feeling that the rest of my fingers have by a lot. Which is also, so I burn myself there all the time too, because like I'll touch something hot and then it'll pull away as fast on that finger. So then it's even more numb because like I burned the shit out of it last night while I was making dinner.
I know,
but it doesn't hurt because it's numb.
damage.
Right? Yeah, it's like oh god.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to say that it's tasty to have your tongue be made numb, but it's not like your tongue gets made like Novocaine numb. It's just it's truly a different 3rd kind of spicy. Szechuan peppers. I suggest them. They look a lot like peppercorns. We've got like a grinder of them. We've got like some jars of spice the brand is called Fly by Jing Szechuan pepper sauce. Sometimes it's really extra crunchy with like pumpkin seeds and other stuff in it to give it like a very crunchy kind of experience. Yeah. Learned about it recently because his uncle lives in Japan and came over and was like, here, have some like, fun, spices that we just get at the store over there. And we had also recently seen about it on YouTube. And then we found a sauce at Safeway, and we went to this restaurant the other day, which I'm sure they were using Szechuan peppers in the soup that we ordered. It's just kind of blossomed onto our realities, and I need to be part of passing this along. More people need to know about the amazingness of these peppers.
Awesome. How were your holidays? Did anything fun?
I took a nice 2-week break. I really focused more of my celebration on solstice, really very mid on the whole American Christmas thing. Did set up a Yule tree branch, as one does. Did do Hanukkah candles, because that's a family tradition. Stayed home for the most part. Did go visit the in-laws and have beef Wellington. And of course, this brings up the annual discussion of what exactly is the entire Wellington family of foods. There's a chart. It's a whole thing. Corn dogs and Pop-Tarts are in the Wellington family. Fun fact.
I guess they would be, yeah. I mean, anytime you're wrapping meat in a pastry, right? Like,
I get angry at the Pop-Tart argument, but it's on the chart, so,
Yeah, I mean, because there's no meat in Pop-Tarts.
No, but the fact that it's stuff wrapped in pastry. Anyway, it's one of those lovely eternal holiday debates. So that was fun. And yeah, really just did a lot of the staying home. And I had intentions of staying home and working after New Year's. That didn't end up happening. But, my marriage is the stronger for not doing all that work over the vacation. So, it was a good but quiet holiday. And yeah, as we were talking about before, we got onto recording. I'm looking at dealing with some medical stuff coming up soon. So, just kind of like took a nice break and pause. And now I feel like I'm trying to hit the ground running, not doing like a New Year's resolution thing, but just doing like that was a big breath. And now it's time to do stuff because I had a big breath. So that was me. How about you?
I pretty much worked my normal schedule during the holidays. Like I work at a factory that we don't shut down. So I had Christmas Day off. And I took a week off in early December because I did have time to burn. I had to use it before the end of the year. But yeah, I mean, we did Christmas with Never's parents, and that was they do the traditional Christmas family thing, presents and everything. But yeah, just had a nice chill. It was nice not to record for a couple of weeks and like have that time be down, and actually like have my Tuesdays. Yeah,
I was off of all my Zoom calls. Like, nope, nobody gets a Zoom call from me.
I bought Never a car. That was a big part of like what we did in our free time. Is like we spent a couple of days, multiple days going to lots looking at used cars, and her she had a 2004 Subaru Forester that she got in a little fender bender, and it's not worth repairing because they're old and labor's expensive, and so it very becomes, if you have drive an older car, it's very, very quickly totaled if you do any damage to it, even if it's not a totaled car, right? Like if you think about like a big fucking destroyed car that's been flipped and trashed and everything like that. So we took the money from the car and went ahead and bought 2011 Subaru Legacy with a nice limited, so it's got a nice package and everything. So she's got like heated seats, which is important for her back. And yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's it's kind of like, oh, buying a car feels like this big deal, but then you're like, oh, but then I just have a car that I use to get back and forth to work like I used to, right? Like, and I'm not even driving it.
But, it's still a lot of work to make sure that your daily driver, that your significant other is commuting in, is like safe and good and going to get the job done.
And then we got some work done on the roof of the house. God, I'm such a boring old man now. I'm like, I got a new car and my house needs work. But like,
can I tell you about my well repair?
Yeah, well, all right, I'll tell you about mine and then you tell me about yours.
This is what the people want.
Yeah, this is the most entertaining comment I'm sure you can imagine. So yeah, well, they did some roof work on my roof before I moved in, and they left the grate over the dryer. I have a third floor roof, so I can't really necessarily get up there to look at it. So I had to hire someone to get up there because it's a row home and there's not good access if you don't have a cherry picker of a ladder. And so, yeah, he pulled that out and all of a sudden my clothes are drying faster and he cleaned out my gutters. So now the water is actually running down the gutters, and I realized this must be the most boring content in the world, but it's very exciting for me because I live in my house. And the water, oh my God. So the whole thing is the water's been skipping the gutter because it had a grate over it and the grate was clogged. And so the water would come down to the V and shoot out and fall a story onto the metal gutter drain, right? Whatever that thing's called. And it would hit it, and it sounded like someone beating on the metal gutter with like just a set of, drum hammers. What are those things called?
Drumsticks.
Drumsticks. Thank you. My brain. I am struggling with words today. This might be an interesting podcast. So it sounds like someone's beating on it with drumsticks all night, and so finally it rained this morning, no sound.
Oh yeah.
And that was right outside my bedroom window. I'm going to sleep so much better. Like, it's such a small thing, but it's going to be such a huge quality of life improvement.
Oh yeah. That's an amazing thing to not have to live with when you didn't realize how stressful it was.
Drum hammers. I don't know how I came up with that.
Well, mallets are a thing. You can have mallets
Sure.
on drums, but generally they are called sticks.
Drumsticks, yes.
Yeah, well, my big exciting homeowner improvement over the weekend or over the holiday break was our well pump gave out, and so we had to have weekend people come out and replace the well pump. And Seth already knows the answer, but I want you out in the audience to all just make a little bet with yourself. When was that well pump installed? Okay, you got to guess? You got to guess in your mind? Okay, hold that number. 1979. Oh, Dr. Pants, you guessed the year that I guessed when Brandon asked me this question. That well pump was almost certainly older than me, my husband, and the two people who were installing its replacement. Like, almost certainly it was the first well pump that was put into that well when it was dug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, real old. The part of the attachment crumbled when they tried to pull it out. So we've made a very big improvement to the value of our property now by installing a pump from this millennium.
That's less than 50 years old.
Yeah. It's like that. Yeah, it was 46. No, anyway, it's old. It was very old. Needed to be replaced a long time ago, probably. But it had been continuing to work.
46 years. Yeah.
So, we've replaced that. So that's a nice investment in the value of the property, and came out to be a lot cheaper than we thought it would be for an emergency repair on the weekend, which is pretty awesome.
Still never cheap.
No. And we're deeply, deeply privileged to be able to say, oh, cool, we're going to spend less of our savings on it than we thought we would. Great. We have that kind of savings, which is definitely, this could have been a catastrophic failure, but for the fact that we have resources to absorb multiple thousands of dollars worth of cost at random on a weekend.
I'm waiting for the roof guy to bill me. I haven't paid him yet. This was yesterday. I was like, sure. I gave him my email, and we've been emailing.
Surely he would like to get paid for his labor. That would make sense.
I know. I'm like, send me a bill so I can pay you. Like, I didn't.
I need an invoice.
I think what he's also doing, I think he wants to quote up some more work. He wants to replace some of the like vents on the roof because they're cracked a little bit. So I think he might be writing up a proposal to send as well along with the bill. So, but I don't want to be that guy who's like, I'm going to come back in 3 months and be like, why didn't you ever pay me? I'm like, why didn't you ever bill me?
Yeah. Money's fun.
Money's fun.
So now that we've got 10 minutes of, yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of money, Matt is gambling.
Thank you for listening to the Wheel of Time Spoilers podcast. Please rate and review us on your podcast app, and consider supporting us on Patreon for ad-free episodes. What Spoilers is a production of Fox and Raven Media. For more podcasts from Fox and Raven Media, visit our website at foxandravenmedia.com.